chant, people before profit, suggests that profit is the enemy of humanity. But is profit just about exploitation, or does it serve a wider purpose? With me to discuss this is David Seymour from the Frontier Center for Public Policy.
Hi.
David, simply stated, what is profit?
Well, profit is the revenue left over after a company has paid its costs. So the most important thing about profit is that it's not guaranteed. We tend to hear about profits made on good investments more often than we hear about the losses from bad ones.
And what exactly is wrong with the familiar chant, people before profit?
Well, basically, you have to serve people to make a profit. And anyone who doesn't believe that shouldn't try starting a business.
But serve whom, though?
Well, first of all, you've got your suppliers. Now, they could be workers selling you their time, other producers providing raw materials, or other companies providing services, and so on. All of these were used to different extents to produce this interview. Now, as long as people are freely and willingly participating, then they must be getting the same or better deal from you than they could have elsewhere. So similarly, as long as your customers are buying from you without being coerced, then they too are presumably getting the same or better deal than they would if you didn't exist.
You make a lot of escape references there about if people participate voluntarily. But what about monopolies where there's one supplier has all the means of production?
Well, sure. It's an important point about exchange being voluntary, and monopolies are an important exception to that. But there are economic policies to deal with monopolies where they exist. For example, in Canada, we have a government department called the Competition Bureau, whose mission is to prevent anyone from gaining a total monopoly in any industry. So monopolies are a solvable problem.
Back to the subject of paying more and selling for less, that just doesn't add up. You pay suppliers more than others pay for them for a product you sell to the customers for less than others charge them. That makes profit impossible unless you're exploiting one or both.
Well, that's where creativity and entrepreneurship come in. They add value. And a really extreme but obvious example would be turning sand, which is worth nothing, into silicon chips for computers. So profit is ultimately about applying new knowledge to old resources to create more value.
Even so, the question remains, why is profit necessary? Surely workers and entrepreneurs could add value without it.
Well, you have to go back to the earlier point that profit is not guaranteed. In fact, in most economies, the total profits and total losses roughly balance out. What profits do, though, is reward risk-taking that is necessary to create new goods or services. So profit also tells entrepreneurs where the unmet needs are. So if you see people making huge profits in, say, website design, that tells everybody who cares to look that the cost of inputs in that business is less than the value of the product. So more people should be doing it. Profit helps to regulate production by taking people and investments where the most productive jobs are.
That seems a very cynical view of human nature. Are you saying that people are motivated purely by greed?
Well, no. People have all sorts of motives, and profit is only one of them. But it is also a very powerful motive, and more importantly, it's one that aligns with the cost of production and the value of the products produced. So it guides everybody to get more value out of the limited resources that exist.
What about multinational corporations that make billions of dollars? Surely when these companies make excess profits, politicians are right to step in.
Well, the numbers and stereotypes there might make the issue more emotional, but the principles remain the same. First, large corporations tend to employ many people and serve many customers. Second, they have to be big to produce some things. For example, Boeing is a big company and it sometimes makes big profits, but that company needs to be big to do all the things required to produce jet airliners. And those who want profits in a particular industry reduced need to ask whether these profits really are excessive. If the answer is yes, then they should borrow money and invest in that industry. But the reality, though, is that all investment options do have risks, and reducing profit means that fewer people will take that risk, thus destroying the industry.
So when an investor is making an excessive profit, we're all just stuck with paying higher prices?
Well, this is where the function of profits is somewhat counterintuitive. When a large profit is being made, it's an incentive for behavior that will ultimately reduce profit to a more normal level. So in order to maximize profit, every business already in the industry is going to expand its production. They'll invest their profits in buying more machinery and employing more workers. New businesses, as well as those from other industries, will invest in producing the same profit-making good or service. And this process will continue until production is at a level that meets demand, and then prices go down and the profits reduce. So rather than being a function of class or identity, profit is actually a function of making investments that serve people's needs best.
So to summarize, profit is the unexpected upside of risky investments. Banishing profits would mean banishing risk and therefore innovations. People before profit is silly because profit is made by people serving the needs of other people. In the long term, profits draw workers, investors, and entrepreneurs towards activities that best serve human needs. Next time, we look at the mirage of inflation. Inflation has mostly disappeared from Western economies. But what is inflation, and what are the effects? Thank you for watching. I'm Jamie Stevenson for On the Other Hand.